So we're back, folks, and we're talking to Anthony Hackett of the Aimetis Corporation, and we're into advanced analytics. And we've been pounding Anthony for more explanations than probably necessary here. We're into the limitations on video analytics. So you covered kind of the computational one. Did you get into the lighting one as well? I'm not sure.
Yeah. So the lighting, if you think about shadows that might be cast over a set of railroad tracks where you might want to identify somebody on the tracks, certainly lighting is going to affect it. Or if you think about the CCTV video that you guys produced for business owners with their own cameras, if you think about any store that has those automatic doors, maybe it faces south, where you're always getting sunlight in, that makes it challenging for the analytics. And when you guys go to do forensic work and you pull that evidence, and you've got a light source shining directly into that camera, it makes it very poor, even for image recognition or facial recognition, so on and so forth. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Where we're segueing into now is, okay, so now you have these algorithms that are available. We were talking about object left behind just before the break there, and the token sales message that a number of years ago was that you would maybe use this at an airport to detect somebody's bag left behind. And of course, when you go to the airport, all you see is bags laying all over. But we have folks that install this at military operations where they detect tools on the flight line that somebody put down a wrench. They were working on a plane and they thought they had everything picked up, and lo and behold, they pulled away and left a very simple tool behind that could cause a lot of damage, or shouldn't be left there, number one, anyway. And that's maybe more of a non-traditional approach to this. We have other folks that will use it to an object left behind, let's say on an ATM machine, to detect a card skimmer that's been placed there. So
that's object recognition.
That's right. Well, yeah. So you're basically looking for something that was not there initially. So in the case of like a card skimmer, it's a device that was put on the fascia or right at the card entry slot on the ATM machine. So it's comparing the previous image with the post image and picking up on an alarm and sending an alert out. Those are good examples of say object left behind.
Okay, because under types of analytics and the uses, we had object recognition, what you want to detect, people's, vehicles, and anything unknown. And then you had perimeter protection, and I guess that's the thing I was talking about at the airport runway, the hangar and stuff like that. Yep. And then you were just going over just now the object left behind piece. And go ahead, continue.
Yeah, so I'm just picking up on different types of algorithms and where people are using them today. Certainly going back to what you just spoke about object recognition, you want to be able to tell your system what to detect, whether it's a person or a vehicle. Maybe you want to detect both. The thing to keep in mind is that you don't even have to build any rules. If your system allows you to, say, analyze the video and tag people and vehicles as data, that makes mining that data very, very important. In 2005, Aimetis got an important call from the London Metropolitan Police to use the product to forensically review, I think it was 77,000 hours of recorded video that is just video. There's nothing that you can do with it until it's processed and tagged, let's say. So it becomes a very important forensic tool, even with no rules clicked on or created within the system. Just by having the system recognize people and vehicles and recording it as such keeps a data set or a group of metadata available for as long as the customer wants. So very, very important thing to keep in mind is that even though you're deploying analytics, you don't necessarily have to create rules to alarm on. Just having the cameras record individuals and vehicles as they come through the scene can be very, very important and beneficial when you need to extract data very quickly. One of the things that we were, kind of talking about was just different things that we've seen in the market and where people are using. So we kind of talked about, object left behind. Certainly, perimeter protection is probably the biggest driver of analytics use. If people want a secure environment, or if they have a secure area, analytics is a great tool to provide a virtual perimeter, if you will. But think about something like people counting or the object counting, right? When you think about that, you would typically think of a retail setting where people are walking into a store, maybe walking out of a store, or walking into a certain area of the store, and you want to gather that business intelligence. But think about maybe narcotics groups using the system to just, again, record and store the video of maybe public housing, let's say, and find out the number counts on certain properties, and the ones with just through the roof numbers are not mom and dad dropping kids off every day. That would be significant enough to go and investigate. So it helps the the police, law enforcement to be more efficient and obviously safer conducting their jobs. That's more of a non-traditional use of people counting.
Okay.
We have a university that is counting traffic, vehicles coming into the stadium on football games, and they want to enhance the customer experience by redirecting traffic. When the vehicle count gets to a certain number, they redirect traffic to the next available lot, and that allows for people to have a better game day experience. They can take those algorithms or analytics licenses and move them to other cameras around the campus as they need and see fit. Another good analytics algorithm that we see being used out there is auto tracking on a PTZ camera. So this would be in a non-busy environment that you would want to maybe track and follow a vehicle or person as they move through the scene. And if you think about what we spoke about last week, which is bringing in all these other systems, we could, if they cross a particular perimeter, we can turn other cameras in their direction, we can lock doors, turn on lights, sound alarms. It's a good example of what people are doing today out in the field. Loitering, dwell times. When you think about dwell times, we think about retail typically, but think about somebody that's dwelling at the perimeter of a school campus, maybe an elementary school campus. It would be very beneficial to the administrator or maybe the local law enforcement officer to recognize somebody lurking at the perimeter edge of an elementary school around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. It'd be good for school officials to know that, in the younger grades, just to say, okay, there's mom, dad. Oh, what is that orange in a group of apples? That might be something very, very prudent application like that. You've covered quite a bit with us, and we certainly do appreciate that. I hope you don't mind us putting you on the spot with the algorithms. It's probably one of the thornier parts about this whole video analytics piece, and the computational piece, quite frankly, is a very, very important piece. So I think that's something that a lot of people definitely dwell upon. You have anything you want to end up with this? I mean, this is a pretty good, for a quick couple of minutes here on advanced video analytics. We're really pressing you to give some rich educational stuff here in a very, very limited amount of time.
No, I the opportunity, and I would just advocate that it's not. And there's a lot of complicated math behind it, but it's not a complicated technology, really. We make our analytics publicly available for anyone to download. So I would encourage, if somebody's interested or curious, just go right to our website and download them and try them, because they're not anything more than what they're used to today, really, in setting up a typical network video surveillance system.
Well, this has been a particularly good 20 minutes with you. We had the types of analytics and their uses, object recognition we went through today, perimeter protection, object left behind, object counting, loitering and dwell times, PTZ, auto tracking. All of these things are important for corporations and public agencies to understand as they bring these new software applications into their environments and learn how to better protect their organizations. So, Anthony Hackett, thank you very much. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Rich Lee is with me, Anthony. He's got a question. Go ahead, Rich.
Hi, Anthony. Curious to know if organizations didn't have your software, but they're using closed circuit TV, but then they choose to bring the data to you later, like you said in the case of the London bombings. Is it more computational power required for the real-time stuff versus the already shot footage stuff?
I mean, technically speaking, no, computational is going to be computational, but one of the tricks we have in our system, if you will, is that we can post-analyze the video. We don't have to necessarily do it in real time. So we actually have people that do that as a service, either to law enforcement or to forensic investigators, where they just take the video back and run it. The trick is that you have to still do it in real time. So it still takes time to process. But if you want to post analyze say like an hour segment or 6 days of video, you're going to have to just run it through the system and do it in real time, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that kind of makes sense because you're not going to know where to hit it and not to hit it.
Right, and you can't fast forward through it.
You can,
it's watched.
you're going to miss frames, and,
Yeah.
and that you could miss something. That's the risk you take with speeding it up.
Okay. And one other question: what's a growing trend in your world?
Oh wow, great question. There's I think one of the bigger trends right now is creating apps for the cameras. We see a lot of good hope for the future that new architectures, new chipsets in these cameras will allow for even more robust analytics to be produced. That's definitely one thing. Certainly, if you think about all the different things that have to happen before the systems are deployed, where a lot of people are now taking a second look is in the actual business intelligence that can be gleaned off the system. So everything from traffic counts to loitering, dwell times, occupancy, all that information can be kind of spit out, if you will. I don't like that word, but in graphical or pie charts or in Excel sheets or CSV files that can be put into third-party business intelligence systems. So people are taking another look at the video and saying, geez, can this really provide me a lot of data? And the answer is yes, it can.